Giants fans, it's time for a heart-to-heart. After witnessing one of the most disappointing performances this season, we have to ask, is this rock bottom for our team? Some believe the latest loss was even worse than the brutal 40-0 thrashing at the hands of the Dallas Cowboys. And the painful truth is, the finger is being pointed directly at our quarterback, Daniel Jones. For years, we've been hopeful that Jones could lead us to the promised land. But after another lackluster performance, many fans are losing patience. The conversation isn't just about stats anymore. It's about pride. It's about what it means to be a New York Giants fan. And right now, fans are feeling more disrespected than ever. One of the biggest issues haunting the Giants is their inability to finish drives in the red zone. Time and again, we've watched our offense march down the field only to settle for field goals instead of touchdowns. This past game was no different. The red zone was where our hopes were crushed, as turnovers and poor decisions turned potential points into lost opportunities. And at the center of it all, Daniel Jones. His interception in the red zone was the nail in the coffin for many fans. It's not just a one-time mistake, it's becoming a pattern. Over the past 8 games, Jones has only thrown 2 passing touchdowns, just 2. And with such a low completion rate, even under favorable conditions, it's hard to keep believing that he's the man for the job. Let's be real. Being a Giants fan hasn't been easy in recent years. We've had our share of tough times, but this feels different. There's a growing sentiment among the fan base that Daniel Jones has made watching the Giants unbearable. Some even go as far as to say that his performances are disrespecting the legacy of this once great franchise. From Super Bowl victories to being a team feared across the league, the Giants' glory days feel like a distant memory. Fans are passionate. We bleed blue. And when the team isn't living up to its potential, it hurts. That pain is amplified when the same issues keep popping up week after week, season after season. The disappointment isn't just about losing games, it's about losing hope. Hope that the Giants can return to their winning ways. Who's to blame? It's easy to point fingers at Daniel Jones, but the frustration goes deeper. Ownership and the coaching staff have continued to support Jones as the franchise quarterback, and that's left many fans questioning their decisions. John Mara, Brian Daboll, and Joe Schoen have stood by Jones, but after so many poor performances, is that loyalty justified? Jones was handed a hefty contract, signaling that the Giants believed in him. But right now, he's not living up to that investment. His play is making it hard for fans to stay optimistic, and it's even harder to justify keeping him as the starter. And what about the coaching? While Brian Daboll was seen as a bright spot when he arrived, his play calling has come under fire. But here's the catch. How much of his playbook can he really use with Jones under center? Daboll might be limited by the QB's abilities, forced to play it safe when the game calls for more aggressive moves. It's like driving a car with engine problems. No matter how well you steer, if the engine isn't working, you're not going anywhere. Right now, the Giants' offense feels broken, and many believe Jones is the engine that needs replacing. The longer Jones stays as the starter, the bigger the risk of losing the locker room. Players know when something isn't working, and continued losses will take a toll on team morale. If the coaching staff and ownership keep backing Jones despite his struggles, it sends a message that could alienate the rest of the team. There's a sense that if changes aren't made soon, the Giants could spiral even further. And no one wants to see that happen. So what's the solution? Many fans are calling for immediate action. Bench Daniel Jones. It's a drastic move, but one that might be necessary to salvage the season. If the Giants want to keep their locker room intact, maintain fan support, and give themselves a chance to turn things around, a change at quarterback could be the spark that's needed. Sure, it's not an easy decision. Moving on from a player who was once seen as the future of the franchise is tough, but sometimes tough decisions have to be made for the greater good of the team. Giants fans, we're at a crossroads. The pain of these losses is real, but so is the love we have for this team. It's time to demand more from the Giants, more effort, more pride, and more results. And that starts with making the hard calls. Whether that's benching Daniel Jones or reevaluating the direction of the franchise, one thing is clear: something has to change. Let's hope the Giants take the necessary steps before it's too late. We deserve better.